Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? So, the Eternals are kind of making my life hell with how you can put them on any defense and suddenly the defense has to be handled entirely differently. I hope I don't come across any Eternals in this defensive lineup. I did not get a chance to check. We are going over Dr. Doom's defense right now. And if you want to get some holds in defense, as people are now calling it holds. I thought it was DVs, as in defensive victories, but whatever. I'm not a bellwether. If you want to get some holds in defense, then you can throw the Eternals on one team or throw each one on a team. And it really screws people up because they're pretty new. We're also going to be having some new teams coming out, like Spider-Verse, a new Web Warriors is what they're calling it. If you want to check that out, Arnold put out a video with Mobile Gamer, and there's going to be a link in the description to that. And in my restream, we kind of go over that video so you can check that out. But aside from throwing new characters in on defense, what you can do on defense is make sure that only your crap is in defense and using your best offensive stuff, your best Toons for offense. So hopefully that's what Dr. Doom has done. I see right here with team number 1, he has taken Doc Ock off of his defense, which is a great thing. By the way, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I still have a scratchy voice, even though I took a week off of this, but I'm going to try and power through for you guys because I love you all so much. So, team number 1 is the OG Sinister 6. If you're going to use Sinister 6, I approve of this build without Doc Ock. Doc Ock on this team is an absolute waste because this team is totally beatable. This, however, is a filler team. He's got a pretty big number going here, which requires a pretty big counter. You could probably come into this with like a 300 aim with no trouble at all, however. So it's not like you got to use anything meta. You just have to use something that can take it down. So it's a filler team. He's doing everything just right on this. What I would like to see done differently on this team is simply make them all war ready. And let's see, you got Raider on Green Goblin. That's okay. You can also do Skirmisher, but if you're going to go Skirmisher, you kind of want to take him to level 5, and it's really not worth it. Skirmisher on Mysterio is okay. I also like him as Striker. He has a clear, and he calls counters. So having lots of Skirmishers on the team and then making him a Striker usually comes out to a pretty good effect, but Skirmisher on him is fine. To make sure that when his basic does happen, it does work. Let's see, Raider on Shocker, that's fine. He does a lot of AoE chain attacks, and that works. You could also do Skirmisher or Striker on him. In fact, a lot of these you can do Skirmisher or Striker on pretty much any of them. Raider on Swarm is fine. He does AoE attacks also. I like him as a... I don't know what I run him as. I might run him as a Raider also. I don't know. And then a Striker on Electro for the damage boost. Skirmisher again or Raider again on her is fine. They all have lots of chain stuff. This is fine. I think you're doing everything great. If you give them a little bit of a tweak, I could give you the A. As for right now, I'm going to give you a B for this. It's not a team that's going to get you defensive victories. It's a team that simply fills a slot. Okay. Team number 2. Here is a twist on what used to be the BKT, except you replaced Thanos with Ant-Man because obviously Ant-Man is just as good as Thanos. That's sarcasm. All right, Vision in there. He works pretty well because he spawns those tech guys with defense up. That's kind of a good choice. He's basically going in there just to spawn defense up on the team. That's really all he's just to spawn in. That's his goal. And then Ant-Man is hopefully get that opening slow AoE. I don't know why you have him as a Skirmisher, other than he should be a Skirmisher on his Pimtech team. If you're going to run him on this build, you should probably make him a Raider because he's only going to get that one AoE off in the beginning, and after that, it's pretty much done. Unless you wanted to make him a level 5 Skirmisher so that you're sure those slows stick. He is kind of underpowered on this team, so there's different ways you could go. I'm not going to dock you for the Skirmisher ISO because on his original team, that's what he should be. Striker, Skirmisher with the Guardians. That's a perfect setup right there. Make this team war ready. I'll give you an A for it. It is kind of a filler team, so I'm going to give you an A- for this. You're doing some really good things that work well on a filler team. All right, team number 3. This is one of our upcoming Web Warriors in here with some trash filler people. It looks like you're going for a hero brawler setup. You do have Skirmisher on Miss Marvel. Hopefully you have a T4 in that ability that causes her to counterattack. I think it's her passive. Causes her to counterattack on every attack. Yeah, it's got to be her passive. Striker on Captain Marvel's fine. Striker on everybody is how you should have it. So yeah, definitely a hero brawler team. Nice red stars on Heimdall. Unfortunately, it's Heimdall, huh? Let's see here. Your power levels are all over the place, but who cares? This is another filler team, but you're doing it right. I'm going to give you an A for this. You're not wasting anything. Keep watching for those web warriors. You will be replacing Spider-Man on this team with somebody else. Or you know what? I'm curious if those web warrior team, if you could make a hero brawler out of them with Captain or with Miss Marvel. That's something to think about. Just thought of that. Yeah, let's see. Team number 4, Fantastic Four with She-Hulk. Hey, this is fantastic. You got really good ISOs. I prefer Fortifier on She-Hulk, but I'm not going to dock you for Skirmisher. That's a really good one to put on her. Might as well take her to level 5 if you're going to go Skirmisher. That 50% focus boost is really nice. When she throws those negative effects back at the enemy, you want them to stick. So bump that up a little bit. Your placement could use some adjustment. You actually want She-Hulk right in the thick of things. So let's put Johnny, then the Thing, then She-Hulk, then Invisible Woman, and then Mr. Fantastic on the outside should be how your placement goes. You're doing really good with these ISOs. I like that you're putting in ISOs that work regardless of perfect builds. You got ones that actually work. So this is a good build. I'm going to give you an A- for that. Just tweak that placement and you'll be on point. Team number 5, we've got the Inhumans hybrid with Coulson and Drax in there. You're saving Silver Surfer for offense or maybe a hybrid, it looks like. That's fine. This is a good place to put Drax. You've got him over invested, so you might as well use him. He's going to make this team very frustrating because Coulson's going to be popping off early. Yo-Yo's going to be keeping people from getting damaged. The only problem is, though, Yo-Yo doesn't work while Drax is alive. So Drax isn't receiving any benefits from Yo-Yo. If I was going into this team, I would try and clear the taunt off of Drax and keep him alive. That way I don't have to worry about Yo-Yo. You might catch people off guard and they might try and fight their way through Drax, and then Yo-Yo's ability starts taking effect. But you never want to leave it up to the opponent to make a mistake. You want to control how the defense plays out. So you should probably get Drax out of here. If you really want to use Drax on this team, then get Yo-Yo out of here and use somebody better. Like, I'd hate to say it, but Quake might be a better fit if you're going to run Drax in here just because she can slow the opponent. But Quake's trash. We all know that. So I think the best move is to get Drax out of here. Get somebody who isn't a defender or whatever. Not a defender, a fortifier person. I forget the name. Whatever. Okay, so other than that kind of mistake you got going on right there, I like this team. It's a pretty formidable defense. It's an older hybrid defense that everybody knows. We all know how to beat it and how to get through it. It's not that tough, especially with teams like New Warriors coming in here and just wiping it out so fast. Let's see. I don't think there's much you can do to make this team any better other than you could probably make Coulson a striker on this team because you've got 2 people putting out vulnerables, and Coulson has that rewind on his basic. Now, normally you'd have another powerful striker on this team, and so you would want Coulson as a raider to put lots of vulnerables out for it to work off of. But yeah, you know what you could do? Take Drax out of here, put Doom in here. It'd make a pretty decent Doom team. I think that's what you should do, unless you find a better place for your Doom. That might be something to do. Not bad, though. You got things on point. I'm going to give you a B for the... that Drax is actually a pretty bad mistake. I'm going to give you a B- for this team. Get Drax out of there and think about changing Coulson's ISO depending on who you put in. You put in another striker, leave Coulson the way he is. Team number 6 is a mashup between Brotherhood and Marauders. Now, you have 4 mutant villains and a tech. So yeah, this is pretty good. I like where you put Blob. I like how his deflects are going on to Strife and to Sinister, and Minerva's going to make this team pretty tricky. Magneto's going to take some time popping off his blind little trick, but you might be okay. You might be okay with that because you have 2 tanks taunting. they're going to have trouble getting to Magneto. Zemo is going to come in here and probably crush this team because he'll strip the taunt off of Strife, and then they can kill Magneto pretty quick. And then they can take their time with the rest of the team because you don't really have any damage dealers on here is probably the biggest issue. Yeah, this is more of a timeout team than a team you're going to lose to, really. You got lots of reasons why it could time out, and that works too. Just making him time out is a good thing, but without Emma in here, I don't know if it's going to hold its value that well. It's interesting. It's going to take some thought, and people are going to have to work at it, and they're not going to be able to just come in here with anything. But a Shadowlands is probably going to roll through this no matter what. I would put some more power into Blob, and I would definitely make Blob a skirmisher. He retaliates whenever he's attacked. Make Blob a skirmisher and build him up a little bit more. It'll make it tougher. If you're gonna run Magneto as a skirmisher, you should make him a level 5 skirmisher, but honestly, his kit gives him the stuff he needs to make his debuff stick. So probably switch him over to a Raider. But I mean, you don't really have... If you switch him to a Raider, you're not going to have any strikers on this team. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, this is just a timeout team, but I feel like you don't have a specific direction where you're going with this, and it is pretty easy team to beat. You just need either powerful Toons that can do some damage to beat this team, or you could come into it with a Shadowlands and control it. So it's not winning me over, but it's not terrible either. So I think I'm just going to give you a B- for this team. Team number 7, here's an interesting mashup. Okay, so you have an overdeveloped Vulture, so you're using him with Doc Ock. That's okay. Vulture moves pretty fast. You've got him as a Raider. He's putting out those vulnerables, which you need for Ghost and for Ultron. And then you have Sinister Scientist Supreme in here, and she's doing scientist things. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I like it. I like that you've got where you got Doc Ock. Actually, no, I don't like that. I think you should... Where do we want to go? I want Doc Ock adjacent to Ultron and Scientist Supreme. So let's swap places with Doc Ock and Scientist Supreme. That'll make it work. That'll be a good placement. That way, Ultron's harder to kill. Scientist Supreme is harder to kill. Ghost is super dodgy, and she's helping Chains go from getting over to Vulture, because Vulture's kind of your weak link here. But you do need somebody that's coming in there fast. Another thing you could think of doing... No, they're all villain tech. Let's leave it the way it is. I was going to say you could throw Vision in here for the defense up on Spawn, but I don't think you need him with the way Scientist Supreme is going to work. It's a villain tech team. I like this. I like everything you're doing here. Just tweak that placement. I can give you an A. For now, it's an A-. Okay, here's a Merc team with Ultimus. Fantastic. Perfect. Perfect A right there. Yeah, perfect A on that team. Just right. Let's see here. We've got Wave 1-ish with Doom and Emma instead of Hawkeye and Black Widow. I don't know why you have Skirmisher on Captain America other than you want to get more vulnerables on the field for your strikers. So I like Captain America as a healer, but on this particular build, it's probably better that you do have him as a Skirmisher. However, if you were to change Hulk to a healer, you wouldn't need another person putting vulnerables on the field. So let's change those 2 ISOs back to healers the way they're supposed to be. And then you're going to have 3 healers keeping this team alive. It's going to be a tricky team with Doom. You're not doing yourself any favors by taking so many Wave 1 Avengers off the field. Thor's going to have a hard time building those charges up. But really, Thor isn't your biggest threat here, right? I mean, it's Doom. Doom's the one you're worrying about. So, you know, if I'm going into this team, I want to get in fast and early, get some sort of an ability block, spread it around. Like, okay, like coming into it with Deathpool and like Zemo, right? You land that ability block on Hulk and then spread it to the adjacent members with Deathpool, and then you just rip the team apart at your leisure. Also, disrupts would help and stuff like that. It's not an impossible team to defeat. It's something to do. That Wave 1 kind of needs a pick-me-up. The other thing that people are doing is putting the Eternals in on this team, and it really just kind of wrecks shop. But that's just, it's Eternal. I mean, you could put the Eternals with the hand, it's going to do good. So it's interesting. You're putting thought into these ISOs. I really don't want to dock you for that, but I do think that the healer ISOs are going to be better. The original healer ISOs on this team. Make sure that they can stay alive, because there's a good chance that these guys are going to be getting disrupted or ability blocked, and the only thing they're going to be doing is taking their turn, staring at their toes. So you might as well have them throwing out that rejuvenation to Doom, because, you know, everybody's going to be attacking Doom. So I don't know where to put this one. I think I'm going to give you a B-. I'm not super excited about it, but it does look like like it's something. All right, team number 10, H for H, of course. Yeah, that's perfect. Another A for this team. Got it just right. Okay, that's been Dr. Doom's lineup. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe for more of these videos. You can find me on Discord or on Twitch. Links in the description. If you want your team featured on Defense Up, then go find me in that Discord. All you got to do is @ me in any of the rooms. If I don't see it, my mods will, and they'll let me know. Otherwise, you can also just direct message me. My doors are open, and I'll get you on the list, and you can have your team featured on Defense Up. All right, thanks, guys. Remember, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and everyone else, too. Bye.